Hello viewers. Today our topic is basics of fire safety and elements of fire. We are going to see in detail about definition of fire, general difference between fire protection and fire prevention, active and passive fire protection, definition of fire safety, fire triangle, fire tetrahedron, detailed view about fuel, heat and oxygen and sources of heat. Let's see in detail, but before that, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the bell icon to get regular updates about our new videos. What is fire? As you can see in the screen, fire is a chemical reaction, usually the combustion of carbon and hydrogen with oxygen, resulting in release of energy in the form of heat, light and sound. Fire starts when a flammable or combustible material with an adequate supply of oxygen or another oxidizer is subjected to enough heat. For a fire to exist, it requires three elements to be in place, that is, heat, oxygen, and fuel. And this is known as fire triangle, and we will be going to see this in detail very soon. As per my own definition, fire is a chemical reaction involving rapid oxidation of burning materials. So this is the standard definition of fire. Now let's move on to fire prevention and fire protection. Fire protection and fire prevention are both essential to keeping you and your property safe, but they are totally different. Fire prevention involves proactive steps taken to reduce fire hazards so that a fire does not have a chance to ignite. Examples of fire hazards include overloaded electrical sockets, dirty fireplaces, unattended burning candles, improperly stored flammable materials, and poorly maintained heat or electric systems. Fire prevention reduces these hazards through regular maintenance, inspection, and testing of the systems in your building. For example, in addition to adhering to NFPA standards, that is National Fire Protection Association standards and local fire codes, you should perform regular risk assessments to identify potential hazards and improve weak areas within the facility that poses a threat. You should have regular maintenance and testing scheduled with a professional to keep systems in working order. You, your staff, or your family should be well trained on fire prevention practices. In addition, personnel should be proficiently trained on the operation of fire protection systems. Fire protection systems are a series of components that work together to detect fires and mitigate the negative impacts. Fire protection includes alarms, suppression systems, sprinkler systems, extinguishers, and any technology that allows you to alert people or monitor the fire. Fire prevention. Fire prevention is a process whereby a fire or occurrence of a fire is prevented. This includes systems for detection of fire, fighting the fire, and also the processes to ensure that a fire does not occur. Fire prevention happens before the fires even ignites. One of the most effective tools for fire prevention is inspection. Regular property inspections can be used to identify vulnerable areas in your facility and once identified to fix them. These vulnerable areas can be things like overloaded electrical outlets, improperly maintained systems, and improperly stored materials. Once these problems have been identified, it is important to take the steps to remove the threat and to ensure it does not get to be that way again. Fire protection. Fire protection is the study and practice of mitigating the unwanted effects of potentially destructive fires. It involves the study of the behavior, compartmentalization, suppression, and investigation of fire and its related emergencies. as well as the research and development, production, testing, and application of mitigating systems. Fire protection is a combination of different fire safety equipment and procedures that are used to defend your property line from fire. While it is different for every company, there are some elements that should be found in every commercial facility. Fire protection often includes equipments like fire alarms, extinguishers, and sprinkler systems. Together, these systems work to ensure your property is constantly protected. When combined, these systems work to provide your commercial space with the ultimate fire protection. Types of fire protection. There are two types of fire protection, that is active fire protection, in short AFP, and passive fire protection, in short PFP. Active fire protection takes action in order to put out a fire, whereas passive fire protection will help prevent a fire from spreading or resist the initial ignition. They work together by alerting people inside the building of a fire and safely containing the fire so that the people may evacuate and try to suppress the fire. Under active fire protection, we have fire suppression system, fire sprinkler system, and fire detection system. And under passive fire protection, we have fire resistant walls, fireproof doors, spark-proof tools, and fire resistant glass. Active fire protection system. Active fire protection consists of the components of fire protection that require some kind of action to work. This action may be manual, like using a fire extinguisher, or automatic, like the sprinkler system, to using flames. The action that results from active fire protection is triggered by some sort of alert or signal. The action itself will contain, suppress, or extinguish a fire that has already started. Although fire suppression systems are the most obvious examples of active fire protection, fire detection or fire alarm systems are equally as important and are also considered active fire protection. After picking up a signal, these systems will trigger a response such as alerting the fire department, activating sprinklers, or closing the fire doors. Working fire alarm system and fire suppression systems can greatly increase your chances of suppressing a fire or even extinguishing it before it causes harm. Passive fire protection system. Passive fire protection is frequently overlooked, but it is a fundamental component of your fire protection. Passive fire protection are a set of components used to compartmentalize a building in order to keep a fire from spreading and require no action to work. Passive fire protection is usually structural and built into the building. By using fire resistant walls and floors, passive fire protection gives people time to escape from a building that has a fire. Other examples of passive fire protection includes dampers, which prevents the spread of fire and smoke through a building's ductwork, and fire doors, which compartmentalize fires. Fireproofing successfully compartmentalizes fires and keeps damage to a minimum by eliminating possible fuel a fire could use to spread or ignite within the first place. A small fire or a fire restricted in a small area gives you a greater chance of putting it out, avoiding costs and avoiding injury. What is fire safety? Fire safety is the set of practices intended to reduce the destruction caused by fire. Fire safety measures include those that are intended to prevent ignition of an uncontrolled fire and those that are used to limit the development and effects of a fire after it starts. Elements of fire or reasons of fire. Fire occurs whenever combustible fuel in the presence of oxygen at an extremely high temperature becomes gas. Flames are the visual indicator of the heated gas. Fire can also occur from lower temperature sources. Over time, combustible materials such as smoldering embers can reach their ignition temperature. In the screen, you can see two pictures and you can easily name it, right? Yes, it is fire triangle and fire tetrahedron. Fire triangle. Fire triangle is a simple way of understanding the elements of fire. The sides of the triangle represent the interdependent ingredients needed for fire, that is, heat, fuel, and oxygen. Fuel. It is characterized by its moisture content, size, shape, quantity, and the arrangement in which it is spread over the landscape. The moisture content determines how easily it will burn. Heat. Heat allows fire to spread by drying out and preheating nearby fuel and warming surrounding air. Oxygen. Oxygen supports the chemical processes that occurs during the fire. When fuel burns, it reacts with oxygen from the surrounding air, releasing heat and generating combustion products such as gases, smoke, etc. This process is known as oxidation. Now let's see in brief about air, fuel and heat. Air. Can anyone tell the proportion of gases present in atmosphere? Also, try to find yourself the percentage of oxygen present in atmosphere. Yes, you are right. Atmosphere is having 78.09% of nitrogen, 20.95% of oxygen, 0.93% of argon, 0.04% of carbon monoxide, and small amounts of other gases. In general, they are called as inert gases. Oxygen. It is a natural component of air, and the air is having 20.95% of oxygen. Rounded off, it can be said as 21% of oxygen. In some places or some atmospheres can have oxygen enrichment, that is greater than 21% of oxygen. Examples are labs and oxygen storage facilities. In some situations, oxygen is more difficult to control, such as outdoors, automatic ventilated area, and places having open doors or windows. These places will become very difficult to control the fire. Next is fuel. There are a lot of fuels around us, such as chemicals, gases, plastics, papers, wood, cardboard, fabrics, of course, you and me. So, anything which can catch a fire is called as fuel. Types of fuel. As we all know, types of fuel are three, that is solid fuel, liquid fuel, and gaseous fuel. When you take a solid fuel, examples are wood, paper, cotton, etc. It can be subclassified into tinder fuel, kindling fuel, and bulk fuel. Tinder is nothing but the material which is used to start a fire. It is the first step when building a good wood burning fire. Tinder is an easily combustible material that its primary purpose is to ignite the kindling. It consists of small shavings or shreds of material that will burn hot quickly. Kindling is also used to start a fire, but it is larger than tinder. Its main job is to burn wood logs and keep the fire going after it is started. A material is considered good tinder when it is no thicker than a thumb. When you take a liquid fuel, it can be further classified into three, that is lighter than water, heavier than water, and mixable with water. And you can see the examples. Lighter than water is petrol and diesel, heavier than water is carbon disulfide, and mixable with water is alcohol. Third one is gaseous fuel, and they can be classified into two, that is lighter than air or heavier than air. The third important factor in fire triangle is heat. So we need to know about sources of heat. Sources of heat can be anything that creates the ignition. So the examples are friction, spark, lightning, cell phones, static electricity, heating appliances, electrical equipments, smoking materials, arson, and act of God. What is meant by arson? Arson means someone they can deliberately create the fire. That is called as arson. Arson means deliberately creating the fire. Electricity as ignition source. Electricity is one of the biggest sources of ignition, and few examples are misuse of electric wires and cables. Electric wires and cables may be misused other than its intended purpose, and through that the fire may get damaged. Wire may get damaged, which in turn creates spark when used. Poor maintenance. In some of the industries, I personally seen that many machines and wires are not properly maintained. All of the machines needs to undergo for a PM, that is preventive maintenance, periodically as defined by the machine manufacturer or supplier, and failing to do so will make the machine or wire to malfunction. Next is ground failure, damaged insulation, sparking, circuit overloading, short circuit, and arcing. So these are all the ignition source related to electricity. That's all about fire triangle. Next is fire tetrahedron. The fire tetrahedron is a four-sided geometric representation of the four factors necessary for fire. Fuel, any substance that can undergo combustion, heat, oxygen. These three we all know. The fourth new element is called as uninhibited chemical chain reaction. So this is the fourth element. All these four elements all together forms a tetrahedron. The fuel or air ratio must within the flammable limits, which describes the amount of vapor in air necessary to propagate the flame. So when we talk about the flammable limits, there are two limits, that is upper flammable limit and lower flammable limit, UFL and LFL. We will see it in later in another video. Removing any of these four factors will prevent, suppress or control the fire. So that's all about this session, that is basics of safety and elements of fire. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. We will keep you posted with new safety videos. Thank you.